Welcome, it's Denome. In this video, I will show you what my portfolio is with cryptos right now, how much of each coin I hold in my portfolio, as well as I will explain what changes I have made or which coins I have actually taken out of my portfolio since making different videos and talking about different projects. And I thought this was a timely video to make right now, especially because Bitcoin just broke the 14K barrier. So we're headed for the all-time high, in my opinion, quite soon. So for that reason, I will show you my portfolio right now. And just as a disclaimer, this is not a portfolio I would even go for if I was just starting out, because some of the coins in my portfolio are actually remnants from the past. And also I will not explain all the reasons out there for each coin, but I will just give an overview for the whole situation. So without further ado, let's just take a look at the first coin in my portfolio, which is actually the biggest one. So that's actually Ethereum. So Ethereum, I hold it because of the Ethereum 2.0. You can now stake your Ethereum and they will launch the mainnet for Ethereum 2.0 on December if everything goes according to plan. And it is the DeFi coin for institutions especially, because that's the second biggest coin after Bitcoin. So institutions like Grayscale are actually buying Ethereum in their portfolio as well, especially if they want exposure to DeFi. So this is a very, very important coin for institutions as well. And if you're just taking a look at the chart, the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, it had a nice bounce from this support level right here, and we're still in this upwards trending channel. So I'm actually expecting this resistance line to be broken. So I do believe that Ethereum will perform better than Bitcoin in the short term, and that's the reason why I want to hold Ethereum in my portfolio. And that is actually 20% of my portfolio is Ethereum. The next one is Celsius Network Token. So CEL token, you are required to have it in your portfolio if you have the Celsius application, if you want the highest possible yield. So you actually have to hold 30% of your portfolio in CEL to get the maximum amount of yield. And for that reason, I do believe that it gains value as the whole crypto markets rise. Because if every other coin rises, but CEL token doesn't rise, then people will fall from that 30% bracket to the lower tier yield bracket, so they will want to buy more CEL. So every time crypto markets as a whole goes up, I believe that CEL token will be going up as well, just because how the tokenomics play out. And I do like the tokenomics of this coin, but it's a very big chunk of my portfolio, not because I necessarily want it to be as big, but just because it has been pumping so hard. And I bought it at about $0.4, and I started selling it at $0.9, and I've been selling it all the way up here. And this pattern or this chart to me is starting to look like it wants to go down. So we'll see if that actually happens, but I would not suggest getting a lot of Celsius network tokens. But for me, that's 12% of my portfolio right now, just because even though I've been selling it, it just has had this massive upwards move to the upside. So that's why I have 12% of it. So even if it drops by 50% from here, I'm still all like really well off with the CEL token. Next one is actually SXP, and this may be a shock to a lot of people out there, but just looking at objectively, I do think it was undervalued at $0.85. So that's where I actually bought a ton of it. So this is actually 11% of my portfolio is SXP right now, and that's high risk gamble that I did, but it is the CRO alternative, and CRO hasn't been doing very well, and people in the cryptocom community are looking for alternatives, and this is a small cap coin, almost $1 million market cap, $100 million market cap, but not quite. So I do think it has potential to pump, especially now that CRO actually made their prices 2.5x compared to what they were before in terms of CRO that you need to stake. And yes, the application is still buggy, the service is buggy, the customer support is buggy, but they're actually delivering on that. So for that reason, I did put it in my portfolio, but I don't want to hype this coin too much. But just when I was looking at the chart, SXP to Bitcoin, you can see that it went all the way down to this level, and I was like, okay, I got to get some SXP back just because it looks so undervalued. So they could make a rug pull, they could implement SXP functionality into the BNB token. So there's a lot of risks here, but they did facilitate a pump and dump before, so maybe they will do something similar again. And if that's the case, then I'm expecting this to actually pump again, and that's when I will be selling it. So yeah, it's a risky play with me, but I don't think the downside is there anymore. I think we saw the bottom with SXP. That's why I bought it back. So that's why I have a lot of SXP right now. Next one is actually CRO, and CRO, I still own 10.5% of my portfolio is in CRO right now. And this is a coin that I would not want to have this much of, but because I have staked it on the exchange and I made a greedy play before, I'm still locked up for another 3 months on the exchange. So a lot of my value has been just vaporizing, but I'm not really participating in the syndicate events as much as before. So I only allocate like 20% from the capacity that I could provide into the syndicate events, just because I don't want to hold a CRO right now. But if you just take a look at the chart here, this is CRO to Bitcoin chart, and we have had this pretty depressive, like not a good looking chart. There was like a one green day here during the last 2 months, just like a red day every single day for 2 months straight. So it's not looking too good, but I do think that it actually can bounce from this level right here. So I don't think it can go much lower than that. So I think it could even be undervalued. But the problem with CRO is that the value drivers are a little bit odd right now because the staking is pretty crappy, to be honest. The staking on the exchange is pretty crappy. The syndicate events are worse than before, and they always market to the like average user, the newcomers who are coming to crypto. They want to target those people first. So they want to be the first platform for those people, but they have had a lot of failed products because they have been trying to target these hardcore DeFi farmers with their DeFi swap, supercharger, and just making everything more complicated, because the average user just wants to use the earn plans and the card staking, and that's it basically. And they are just trying to, like, they are monkeying around, in my opinion, with their products, and they have failed in their marketing massively because they are no longer talking to the newcomer, to the average user. They have like supercharger with some uni tokens. What are those unicorn tokens? What kind of joke is that? So the average user has no clue what they're actually doing and offering, and you can actually see it because not a lot of people are actually participating in the supercharger program, even though now it's available on the mobile app also. So CRO has failed miserably lately with their marketing, but for that reason it could also be undervalued, because if they get their act together again, then this can definitely pump again. But yeah, I do believe there's still more downside to be seen, maybe down to $0.55. But yeah, that's, I don't know if it can go much lower than that. Depends how people view it and if they can actually get the staking benefits better, so people are more incentivized to actually hold this coin. But for now, it's not looking too good. I would not buy CRO as an investment, even though it could have a bounce from here, because it could definitely go even lower than this level, which is the all-time low. So yeah, it's just a coin that I hold, but it's not a coin that I would necessarily recommend. The cards are still great, don't get me wrong. Even though the prices went 2.5x, the value that you get with your dollars is still really good. So the cards are still great, but the CRO as an investment is quite bad, to be honest. Next one is Bitcoin, and there's not much to be said about Bitcoin. It broke the 14k barrier here, and after that I bought into Bitcoin, and I am quite bullish on Bitcoin. I do believe that we can go and test the all-time highs quite soon, and then we will probably have a retracement back like we had in 2016, and that's my expectation. And probably the like the move here, if it goes to the all-time highs with relative ease, I'm actually expecting it to come back to this orange line here, or this purple line, however it is extended. But since we are not there yet, I will not draw it here. but to me it's looking quite bullish. So I have actually 9% of my portfolio in Bitcoin. The reason why I don't have more here is because I have a lot of Ethereum, as well as I have the Cell token, which perform quite similarly. The Cell token just pumps a little bit more usually. So I consider those three assets, Ethereum, Cell, and BTC, to be quite similar in how they actually move upwards. So that's my reasoning for only having 9%. But if you're just starting out, I would recommend having more Bitcoin than this. But since I'm deep into the altcoin forest, that's where most of my money actually is. But before we go there, let's just talk about stablecoins. I have stablecoins to buy dips, to dollar cost average myself into positions, and to pay for my utilities in the real world. And I have 9% of my portfolio in stablecoins, 5% in USDC, and most of my USDC is actually on the Celsius network application to earn a little bit of yield on there. USDT is on exchanges, mostly on limit orders, so I have limit orders ready if prices actually go down. And USDN, I have a little bit of USDN on the Waves exchange stake there also. It gives about 13-14% APY. Next, let's go to the altcoin forest. So 28.5% of my portfolio is actually in altcoins, and I will just show you all the altcoins I have. I'm not going to talk too much about them. Most of these I've made videos about in the past. So Orion is my biggest holding. I actually bought more yesterday. So if you provide liquidity on Orion, you can get more than 100% APY just by providing liquidity on Uniswap with this. Same goes with XIO. You can get more than 100% APY just by providing liquidity on XIO. And the XIO price is actually really, really down from the all-time highs, same as Orion. And both are solid projects. And Orion, they actually will launch this year. XIO will launch in January. And everyone who holds XIO will earn something called a flash token, which will be the utility token for flash staking. So both towards the end of the year, I will be expecting good price movement. Next one is TrustSwap. I actually bought a little bit more, so I have about 9,000 TrustSwap. Band is here on 2 to 3% allocation, as well as BAT. I haven't sold any of the BAT that I bought in the video that I made not too long ago. Then I have coins here like Switcheo, SWTH. I made a video about that before. AWC here, Unitrade. I do have some Unitrade, even though Unitrade is a coin that I have actually been thinking about just selling, because Unitrade, you can do limit orders on Uniswap, but the gas fee is quite massive. So if you want to use Unitrade, there's a 0.2% fee on top of the Uniswap fee. So the total fee for a simple swap is 0.5%, which is quite a lot on itself. But then because you do a limit order, you have to set up the gas price before you actually the gas price you have to set before the trade actually initiates. So you either always have to guess too much gas fee or too low gas fee. And if you guess too low gas fee, then your trade doesn't execute, but you still lose the money. And if you cancel the limit order, then you have to pay extra gas fee just to reverse the order. So it's like a fee demon. So yeah, for that reason, the only utility for this coin or this platform is altcoins that are not yet on centralized exchanges. And I don't really see if we will see another crazy altcoin season where you will just see like a new coin every single week popping up. So for that reason, Unitrade is probably, I will be taking it out from my portfolio. But for now, I still have some Unitrade. But they do have quite a good staking, so that's a bonus for them. Then Synthetics, I do own Synthetics. I have staked it on the Celsius app, same as Matic. And here is a new coin in my portfolio, which is Phantasma. It goes by the ticker Soul, and it's like an NFT token. It works both on the Ethereum blockchain and Neo blockchain, as well as they have their own blockchain. And games already are utilizing this token. And there's like a racing game right now on Steam that you can download and play. And yeah, the market cap is only $3.5 million. So I did have to buy a little bit of Soul for my portfolio. Then I have Cartesi here, or the CTSI. Sorry about my voice, by the way. CTS I have here. Then I have EFX or Effect.ai. Then I have CargoX, CXO. Then I have Seller or CELR. Binance token I used to have a lot more Binance token. So it was one of my top 5 holdings for a while, but now it's less than 1%. I do have some DOS. It's just staked there. It's like a remnant from the past. I don't want to sell it because it dropped in price so dramatically. So now it's just staked there. XDAI, I do own a little bit of XDAI as well. PHNX, I own a little bit. That's a coin I bought in the past, and I just provide liquidity. The liquidity rewards are actually quite good, but let's see if they can actually deliver anything ever. Then I have some limit swap, because I was actually the advisor for that before they launched, and when they launched they gave me a little bit of limit tokens. It's kind of like the Unitrade, but it's a bot that you actually run on your computer, and it's more gas effective than Unitrade because limit swap doesn't use any smart contracts for the trades. It's just a bot that initiates the trade whenever you set the conditions for the bot. So yeah, it's quite interesting project. It's a better version of Unitrade in terms of gas usage as well as the fees that are involved. There's not a 0.2% fee, but it's more advanced, so you need to know a little bit of what you're actually doing with this one. This is very simple for everyone to use. And then I do have some Algorand in my portfolio as well. It dropped so dramatically also compared to Bitcoin, so I just had to pick up some Algorand. If you actually take a look at the Twitter on Algorand, you can see that they're announcing a new partnership, actually using their blockchain all the time. And let's take a look at next some of the coins that I no longer actually hold in my portfolio. So I have Ren here. I just made a video about that. But if you actually take a look at the stats, the amount of Ren BTC is actually going down. So people are unwrapping their Bitcoin out of Ren and actually out of Ethereum blockchain also. That's another video that I will be making soon. It's just that Ethereum will fail in the future, so you have to be prepared for that also. And as it is starting to look like, people are taking their assets off of Ethereum, especially the yield farmers. So there's interesting things going on with Ethereum, but I do believe that it doesn't really matter for the price of Ethereum in the short term. I think it definitely can pump. That's why I hold it a lot. But yeah, no longer Ren in my portfolio. Chainlink, I currently don't hold any Chainlink. BNT, I made a video about it, and after the video, the price actually went a little bit up, and then I reevaluated BNT token, and I thought like, actually it may not be as good of a hold that I thought it was. So that's why I actually sold my BNT after that video. Then I used to have some value tokens on the value defi.io yield farming, but I no longer have that. RLC is a coin that I used to have. I currently don't have it, but a lot of people have been shilling this to me, so I need to take a look at what they're actually doing now. Acro is a coin I've actually been looking at to getting back into. I made a short-term trade with Acro. They had a bullish flag about 2 months ago before the altcoin crash, and Acro was one of the first ones to actually fail that bull flag. So I should have noticed at that point that the DeFi coin started to go down and start to protect my capital. So I took unnecessary losses because I wasn't aggressive enough to take profits. So Acro had a bullish flag, but it failed. So that's when I actually sold Acro, but I kept other DeFi coin positions that I had. I should have not kept those to save my ass from the a big downfall that happened, but it is what it is. I try to be smarter next time. UBT is a coin that I no longer have. I used to have it on the Uniswap liquidity pools, and it was a coin that I hoped had performed better with the last pump cycle, but it didn't perform as well as I hoped it would. And even though they announced a Coca-Cola partnership, it still didn't pump. So for that reason, I just wanted to let it go because it looked like it's not a coin that actually can pump. So yeah, it can still pump, but it's a little bit boring to watch it basically go sideways all the time. Then DIA is actually here on this list, and it's a coin that when I looked at the tokenomics again after buying it about $3 level, Uh, yeah, I bought it at $3 level, and I had a limit order or a sell order at $4.5, and it went all the way up to $4.4. So I quite missed it, and since then I've just been riding it to the downside. And yeah, crypto.com, they had a promotion for DIA. So if you actually sent the DIA to that platform, they actually gave you more DIA if you were one of the biggest holders. So I actually won a little bit more DIA on that competition, but I did lose a lot of money with DIA just because I didn't cut my losses short. So that's another example of what, like, to protect your capital better. So it's just another lesson for me as well. And DIA, I have to say that the tokenomics will change in a very, very short time. If you actually hold DIA right now, if you buy it right now, you will get an airdrop quite soon, as well as they will cut the supply by 50% at the end of the year. So there will be a supply shock with DIA very, very soon as well. It's one of the annoying things because only 15% of the total supply has been released on DIA right now. So that's why they want to cut the supply much, much lower. So the inflation for DIA is much lower as well. So just that, I don't know if I want to buy it back myself yet, but this is something that I'm looking to buy into back. We'll see about that. XTZ I no longer have. I used to have just like $300 worth of it just to see how it goes. XMR I don't have currently. Zilliqa and Theta, those are coins that I actually traded on Binance for a little while. I made a good gains on both of them, but I haven't actually bought it back after that. I just made a quick assessment like, hey, they pumped very, very hard in the summer, and then they retraced like 60%, 70% almost. So I bought both of these coins at that time, and then I had a 50% pump, and I actually sold it off. So that was my Zilliqa and Theta story, but I'm looking at both of these because they are looking quite interesting, especially Zilliqa right now. KNC I no longer hold. I made a video about that, I think, in the past. Yeah, I did, because they were on the crypto.com syndicate events. Yeah, I did make a video about that, but I no longer hold any KNC as well. So that's basically it for this update. Let me know what you thought about this. What do you think about my portfolio? So all in all, currently I have about 10% in Bitcoin, 20% in Ethereum, 10% in stablecoins, and about 60% in altcoins. That's basically my portfolio. And I am still following the portfolio in how I manage my portfolio in the bull run, and with the low risk, medium risk, and high risk assets. So make sure you watch that video also if you don't know. So some of these coins, I do think they are quite low risk. Like I do think even let's take a look at here. So Orion and XIO, I do think they are quite low risk coins right now. Even Band is on the low risk bracket, but all these coins that I hold a lot of, even SXP, I would consider it's at least a medium risk coin for now, but we'll see how everything goes. I do think my portfolio is quite good for the coming weeks and months. We'll see how everything goes, but yeah, I do expect a lot of pumps on these coins, but this portfolio structure would not exactly be what I would start out with if I was just starting out. There's a lot of remnants here that are coins that I bought. I put like $1,000 in these, and some of them have gone down, some of them have gone up, but yeah, you have to make your own assessments, but this is my portfolio, and I will see how that performs. But yeah, this is what I'm working with right now. I hope you consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel if you want to learn more about cryptos and altcoins and follow up what I'm actually doing with my portfolio. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it, and I will see you on the next video.